Well, hi and welcome back to the UFO war, where we're observing aerial anomalies above the rooftops here in Cape Town, and some strange anomalies there are indeed. As you can see, we have one just above the rooftop there, and it's, well, unexplainable. On the wall there you will see a dot moving, and that dot moved across that top of that house wall in microseconds, in literally the blink of an eye. So we can discount Budgie and Bumblebee and Wasp. There it goes, top of the sort of orange part, just below the lintel, the sort of greyish part. Yeah, okay, there's a double. Now, why do the rods fly in formations? And why do we catch them? Sometimes there's three of them in that picture. There's one there. Most of the video you are seeing, again, for those of you who are new to the UFO war, is stepped in super slow motion. In other words, I step at each frame at a time, click, 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 whereas it's actually part of some 10 to 15 frames in the second. Now, this should be at 30 frames a second, but in reality there are only maybe 5 or 6 frames in a second. So therefore, each time you see the picture click, it's about 1/20th, let's say, less than that, let's say 1/15th, 1/10th to 1/15th of a second. Now you can't see anything in 1/15th of a second. You can't see zip. In fact, again, for those of you who are new or haven't seen any of the UFO war series, most of what happens in the sky above you is stealth technology. It happens extremely quickly. Now, for those of you who have taken some notes of the UFO phenomenon over the years, literally people see UFOs hanging around, hovering silently, flashing lights or beaming something down or whatever they do, and then they simply zip off at incredible speed. Now, nobody's been able to say what incredible speed actually is, or how fast that is exactly. In fact, nobody can tell you how large or how small these objects are. But what I can tell you is that it's almost definite that not only are they using some kind of time-space interference on maybe magnetic vortices, there you go, 6 cent, more than likely magnetic vortices and various other effects. Some have it that they use radioactive copper. Some have it that they use orgone energy or pyramidal energy or goodness knows what. We don't know, and in fact this is one of the major aims of the UFO war, is to finally find out why and how they get so close. If they can actually fly into your head, because they certainly can fly into that mountain. For those of you who have not seen all the UFO war tapes, go to youtube.com/user/VAERONI, Veroni. That's Veron with an I, because I am the I in Veron, well known amongst the flying crew. And see for yourself how things can fly in and out of a mountain at supersonic speeds. It'll be in one of the UFO war videos. Yep. So now, how do they fly in and out of? Can they actually get into your brain and retard you so that you don't have any decent science that can compete with them? In fact, I think that's the main idea. Retard the humans, keep them from becoming in some way challenging to our nice little farming operation. Now, what have humans got that is particularly valuable to, say, some, let's say, otherworldly race, or maybe some race that lives here and that is just technologically superior but not very friendly towards hominids or monkeys or whatever? Well, we have DNA, and word on the wire, word to the wise is that DNA is magic stuff. You can't make it, you can't fabricate it. There are claims that they've made synthetic E. coli, but don't lay any stock to that, because if they could do that, they would be bragging about it to the hills, basically. Basically, life can't be created. So if you've got DNA, you've got the seed of life. Basically, you've got seeds. You can't manufacture corn from the molecule up, but if you've got a corn seed or DNA, and it's a very valuable item. It can steer starships across wormholes and all sorts of wild stuff that we would equate with Frank Herbert and Dune and all that kind of thing. And the Spice Planet, well, that's another reason for them being here, the spice, but we'll get into that in another issue. At the moment, we've got, as you can see in the center, we've got a very dark bird. And if you look from the left top quadrant, out of the left-hand side at the top of the screen, you'll see a dot arrives there. He's very obvious in the blue part of the picture. Well, let's rewind that and have a quick look. There he comes, drifting in. Now you can see he's clearly too big to be a budgie. And clearly it's not got the right kind of budgie, let's just say, movements. And you'll see there's another guy hanging around there just next to the mountain. Well, he's doing some serious gliding there, standing very still. Anyway, up to you to decide what you see. I can almost be damn sure that most people watch these videos and see next to nothing. But yeah, it would kind of spoil it if I had to animate everything and point everything out. I'll leave a little bit of investigation for you and try and keep it raw. What you're seeing, each little click every time the frame moves a bit, is about 1/10 of a second. And you don't see anything in 1/10 of a second if you go outside and stare into the sky. What happens in 1/10 of a second makes no difference to you at all. But to a digital camera, well, it might as well be a lifetime. To your computer, it is a lifetime. Your computer operates in slices of nanoseconds, that is 10 to the minus 9 seconds. Gigahertz means that each cycle happens in 1/1000th of a second. So if your computer had to wait for 1/10 of a second, it'd be like dying of old age by the time the second was over. And that's how I assume these people who, or things, or whatever they are manifesting themselves in our sky think. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Welcome to the UFO war. Hopefully you don't like being enslaved, exploited, and used as fodder for the DNA mills. Anyway, cheers.